Oh, shoot. Oh, snap. Look at that. I don't even know if I'm live. I'm trying this on YouTube, so it's all new to me. We'll see if... Oh, it is live. Let's see. Oh, we're live here. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's tweet this out. If you guys don't know on YouTube, I'm HackerMan Ace on YouTube. My page is kind of blanked out right now, but dang, that's so funny. Live now. Yeah, we'll wait for everybody to come on, hop on in. Damn, man, this is crazy. What is going on here? Damn, you know what's funny is I was just about to buy SPXS calls. I wonder how much they moved. Nah, they just went even today. Well, no, wait, they didn't update. Hold on, wait for it. Damn. No, they're still the same actually. They barely moved. Damn, so we just straight went down on this. I'll give it a few moments for everybody to hop in, and then we'll begin. Yeah, if you guys can like and retweet the link, that would be fantastic. That way we can get everybody in here. Other than that, we'll give it a few moments for everybody to get on in. Yo, Math Project, what's up? Yeah, I'm doing my YouTube stream. You're good. What's your name on Twitter or however I know you from? If that's your YouTube name, that's funny. Man, we went straight down. Dang, we are going down. I wanted to grab some plays this morning. Like I played a little bit this morning, but I couldn't get filled, and so I kind of gave up. When I didn't get filled, I was like, all right. And then I was dealing with Target all morning long, so I didn't get a chance to do anything. And yeah, this is hilarious. Damn, man, I was just about to grab these puts too. What are we looking like on these puts? Oh my God, they just went up. They doubled out. Oh, it's B did, yo. Is that your YouTube name? I think that's what it's doing. I think it's bringing up a YouTube name instead of Twitch names. Ah, man, these doubled out. Dude, this sucks. I should have just FOMO'd into them. I had just loaded the account too, and I was like, let's play today. Shit, then we're going down too. This sucks. Damn, what a candle. What a fucking candle. I can't even chase this either. Ah, shit, man. This sucks. And I blame Target for all this. I could have had this one, but yeah. Yeah, let's wait for everybody to get in here. I probably should let my Discord know as well. It'd probably be easier for them to get in on YouTube instead. Wait. I can't sign into chat? What's going on here? Do I have to do it on YouTube? Yeah, I do. Alright, that's fine, whatever. Let me mute this then. That's the link. If you guys can go ahead and like and retweet that, I don't know. Let's see if we can get some calls in for the end of the day. I mean, we do still have a good 2 hours left. So we should get some sort of bounce over here at 398.10. Just yeah, let me let my Discord know that the boys are trading. Dime's getting trolled. Hold on, let me yeah, I'll probably kick up YouTube streams a lot more just because I feel like a lot of more people can easily use YouTube instead of doing it through Twitch, because you can just open it up and walk away. So we want to get this back over at 409. And what do we want to do? I don't think we're going to be recovering this entire dump within the next 2 hours. I mean, this is the 1 minute, so it is possible. Does anybody know what Powell exactly said on the FOMC? I suppose I could just check myself, but I'll check my number one news source, DB. Did they raise? Oh, he's speaking in half past. Why did we dump already? He had to have spoken, or somebody must have said something. So it sounds like we're safe to just buy some calls then, huh? Let's see if I can get one in. I'll just do a little lotto here. See what happens over here. Instantly dumps more. Nice. Yeah, I just grabbed tomorrow 409 calls just to do a little lotto bet for the news coming up. So the same as last week or last time they did anything. Oh look, these went up instantly on the little tiny pump. What is the theta's at right now in the delta? Oh man, yeah, this yeah, I just got in at 110. Now it's at 120. That's nice. Nice little instant push right there. Damn, I should have just went in on that bottom tick. I was wondering. I was like, why did we dump down instantly? I guess the projections dumped down, so we punished pretty much everybody for the last couple days, and we should start bouncing now. That's funny. The one person that I saw grab something again, dude. This guy's just this guy's really good. He keeps he got bugged out last night about talking about it, but yeah, he was saying something about puts this morning. He's like, I bought a few puts this morning, and he's like, laugh if it works. This probably did fucking work for him. Insane. So yeah, let's see what happens over here on the 1 minute. If we get some kind of recovery over here, we do need to break back over 402 right now. I mean, there's a lot to do right now. I think it's going to be more so on how he speaks coming up. I guess we can get it pulled up too. Let me see. Where is it at? Where is it at? Let's pull it up. DB. We'll give it. They don't even have music on here? Damn. Oh, they do. I was gonna say, who's in charge of this? We'll listen to their chill beats until we open up and just observe the 1 minute price action. I mean, this is real funny because it's already up 15% when I just bought. I wasn't expecting all that to happen. Let me see what we're looking on the higher time frames. So 15-minute bounce. So like, if we do a Darth Maul, that'd be very funny. But I do want to keep in mind that we did get rejected off an important point yet again. I mean, we still haven't really cleared any major points. I'm waiting for everybody to hop in before I really get into things, so we can just bullshit around for a little bit. Let me just retweet this again. Yo, I want to say a big shout out to Rasta. Yo, who are you in stream? I want to know who you are because you're always liking my tweets. I feel like anytime you log in, you're like, oh, Ace tweet, like. So I really, really appreciate that. So dox yourself in chat so I know who you are so I can appreciate you more. Alright, let's get down over here. 4 hour. Yeah, so like we're still kind of rejecting off this diagonal over here. So not a good sign if we break into this. Yeah, just kind of waiting over here to see what happens with this. get down to the 1 minute. If we start breaking a little too low, that'll be bad news bears. So we do want to definitely get over the Kijun at the very least. So that's what we're looking at right now. And as far as like the 5 minute goes, 402 is the level over here. We want to get over 402 on this one so we can recover back over. Home Depot was the one that I wanted to grab calls on. Home Depot looked really, really good. A couple people were mentioning this one to me several times. Luho, my man. What's up, dude? I hope you've been good. Hope the market's not causing too much pain on your end. Open AI, please. Yeah, we'll do that a little bit towards the end. Pal's gonna speak in 15 minutes. After he's done speaking, we can check out a little bit of crypto out there. Likewise, man. All right, let me close my door and then I guess we can go through some tickers. I am curious to see how we pan out with oil and energy. Want to get in some shorts on them. I didn't grab anything yesterday because I was a little concerned. That's good to hear, man. Man, somebody had showed me this the other day, and I didn't really grab enough as many. Oh my god, they're almost at 0.1. What the fuck? Dude, this is insane. I knew I should have grabbed this one. I minted a couple because somebody DM'd me right off the bat. Was like, yo, this is minting. And I was like, all right, well, I'll mint a couple of them. And then I sold them instantly, and these are at 0.1. I didn't even talk about them at all yesterday. So it was Caleb's project. He messaged me, and I was like, oh, man. Yeah, we really want to get this flip over here on the B-band so we can get these things pushing. If we start breaking below over here, I'll definitely go ahead and cut out. I'm just doing a little bit of a lotto to see what kind of bounce we have when he does start speaking. It was a friend's project. They launched it, and it ended up getting some really nice kickback with the community. So they started off at 200 ETH volume right off the bat, and I was like, damn, that's for this market, what are we doing? And now these are still going. Like, what the fuck? Ah, man. So upsetting. Can't catch them all. 120 a piece? Jeez. Yo, Crypto Greed. Some of you guys, I might not know your names because it's on YouTube. So if you guys want to share your names from Twitch chat. I mean, I try to avoid, like, the pump and dumps. So I haven't been caught in any kind of pump and dumps in NFTs. So that's been good. It's been weeks, months that I've been caught in any kind of pump and dump. Everything I've been trying to show with NFTs has been very, very good. So there hasn't been anything bad that I've been exposed to as far as NFTs go. So it's been good. Yeah, man, I think I'm going to do on YouTube more often. Just capture a different type of audience. I think the crypto land and the Twitch land is a little bit more to capture. So I'll still do my Twitch stuff. I think what I'm going to do with my Twitch streams is probably just keep the live trading to there. So whenever Zeta Market launches again on this week or whatever, we'll go ahead and do well, I don't even know what that noise was. Oh, it's a sub. Yo, John, thank you for the sub, man. If you guys have any requests, tickers, or anything at all, let me know, and we can go ahead and check them out. Just waiting for Pal to come on and we can go ahead and see what they're doing over there. I thought we were listening to his tunes, but they must have disappeared. Yeah, I want to go here. Look at this. Food. So much food. Alright, let's go here. He'll get on in 10 minutes. I probably wouldn't cop one of them right off the bat. I mean, you could. I mean, I could probably show you something a little bit better, and we can check out a couple other things and see how they're doing, rather than you hopping right off the bat with this. I mean, I guess it should go more, but you're definitely buying into a pump, so I wouldn't really feel comfortable with you getting into this one right this moment. And this was kind of a wild card. It was my friend's project. I wasn't sure if anything was going to happen with it, but turns out it did. So I mean, that's awesome. I'm excited for him. There's lunch boxes. I don't know if you know what the lunch boxes are. This should pump out as long as we don't break start. So I gotta raise this level up a little more. So as long as we don't break out, I grabbed into those 110 what did I grab? 409, 12, 16 calls just for this FOMC. We'll see what happens over here. I wasn't able to capture the puts over here. I tried to play this morning for some calls, and nothing ended up getting filled, so it was right around this point. And yeah, I was off by like 5 cents. Very disappointing. And then I missed this move because I was on the phone with Target. Yeah, and we'll go over some setups over here. I think the main thing that we want to do is check out Dixie and stuff. So let me get Dixie open here. I haven't checked as much as I should. Hold on, Dixie. So Dixie with a little bit of a pump today, which again, I'm just waiting for people to start calling out hidden divs and bullish divs. They'll come through, but the issue with this is with Dixie. We really need to start pushing up if we want to get bullish over here. We don't want to get bullish because we're all positioned in gold. So or gold and silver. So if anybody's in YouTube and they haven't joined my streams, you can always hop over to my Twitch and check out streams. But a lot of my stream viewers have been in metals, and that's pretty much what we've been doing over here. And yeah, the thing I guess you guys can get into if you guys haven't gotten into anything would probably be silver, and we'll figure out those silver plays. I did just recently tweet about them, which ones I'm in. And as far as like gold goes right now, I mean, everything was still setting up over here, so I don't think anything should be invalidating at all whatsoever. We're just looking at the highest red right now, so yeah, all makes sense with Dixie doing what it's doing. So kind of getting sketchy with gold, but that shouldn't be a big deal because most of you should have taken profit over here. Getting a little sketchy over here. We need to flip over this Tenkin over here or flip over this B-band to continue on over. And we'll just get open. We'll just open up their little tunes again. And if you guys can like and retweet the link, that would be fantastic, just so we can get in here. We can get everybody in here. If you guys have any ticker requests, anything at all, let me know and we can go over them. We can check out order flow as well, see if there's anything juicy that's flowing around. Let me get that pulled up too. We'll see what kind of order flow is coming in right now. SPX, PFE, IQ. Kind of more so interested in the dated out calls and see what these guys are coming in with. Yeah, so falling out. So this shouldn't be good at all. This should start dumping out more. Yeah, crypto's been a little bit of a struggle right now. Just because we haven't really had any movement. We got movement now, but I kind of had a plan in place the other day. So the plan in place for people that don't already know is that I have my shorts set over here at 14 and 15. So we'll try to get filled over here on the shorts. Basically, the whole entire thesis with this is that this is the SAM dump. Typically, whenever we have major dumps like this, it's very, very hard for us to recover back over. You can notice over here, dump, failed, dump, failed. Like same thing. It's this this pattern that we discussed plenty of times, the whole A pattern and the mountain pattern. So same bullshit happening around over here. So with that being said, I really don't think we're going to be clearing over this 15 area, 1550 area at the most. If somehow we can manage to clear and push over 16, 17, then I'm going to have to say we're going to pump a little higher to like over 2,000, which will be pretty crazy considering that we ended up recovering that entire SAM dump and it was pretty much unaffected. So, I've just been using Cheddarflow for a while. I have no issues with Black Box at all. They're awesome. The team's awesome. I follow a lot of the Black Box folks anyway. So yeah, there's really no issue with Black Box at all. I just prefer this one because it's a lot simpler and easier, and I've just been using them forever, so I know exactly what to look for. I'd have to get used to Black Box, and Cheddarflow kind of gives me this one so I can test it out and check out beta and stuff. So I'm also a tester for them at the same time, so it's a lot easier for me. Yeah, but absolutely zero issues with Black Box. Black Box is awesome. Who is the guy off Black Box? I forget his name. Anyway, yeah, I can chill a couple of these Black Box folks over here since we're waiting for FOMC. Like Mel over here, fantastic, super smart at dark pools. Big brained over here. Options Mafia, I believe that's the guy. Yeah. Another super, super smart guy. Really informative about his details that he puts out on things. So awesome. Really, really good, good guy, good platform. So no complaints here. It's just a matter of preference, really. I just think that has too much data for me and it confuses me. I know what to look for on Shutterflow. Like I like to look for certain things. If I was more so fast trading, I think I'd probably use Black Box a little bit more, but I don't really catch myself doing fast trades right now. Like back in the day when Trump was still in office, I used to use Black Box a little bit more, but now since the market doesn't really have the best setups always, I kind of just sticking to Shutterflow, and I can just play things directly. Yeah, let's check out your guys' ticker. We have 4 minutes until he hops in. Oops. All right, you said Microsoft and Lulu. Let's check it out. Microsoft 4 hour is good. 1 day looks fine. I guess really the main point with a lot of these tech stocks is the weekly things. Making sure we start setting up on the Ichi on the weekly. So if you don't know what kind of setups I'm looking for, you can always ask me. But yeah, we're looking for Ichi setups over here. So we want to get into the clouds and we want to start breaking out on the weekly clouds. But the daily's not bad. Looks like we're pushing for this little gap fill over here. We almost had it. So just the way we're going right now, I could see a little bit more consolidation. But essentially the upper target over here should be this 285 point. And that 285 point would be the same point that sets us clear over here. The weekly does look a little sketchy over here, so I'd say probably best to go ahead and extend it out a little lower. So if we can clear over 273 for Microsoft, it would be fine. But yeah, 4 hour trend is very, very strong, so you can set your invalidations at about 250 or about 246 depending on how you're playing it. If you're doing options, bi-weekly should do the trick, or even monthlies. Nothing too short, but and nothing too dated, because you still can get wrecked on your dated ones. But yeah, Microsoft's not bad. I mean, it's tech as a whole is something that I am watching to see what kind of reversals we get throughout the market, because we are trying to set up with a lot of tech tickers, and they've been dumping for a little bit as well. Lulu, I hear their inventories are really bad, so not the best sign with Lulu. I hear they have a lot of product over here, so we'll see what happens with Lulu. If it breaks below over here at the 320 mark, it should come down much lower to about 284, if not to about 260. So that's kind of what I'm watching over here, seeing if we break down below the support. For us to recover back over, we do need to break back over 350. What is this? Yeah, 355 is a fair level to go ahead and break back over. A lot of the plays that I kind of want to do right now are more so reliant on energy. I'm trying to see what energy does over here and seeing if we come back down. So that's kind of the main thing right now. Like I see Brenda's bouncing off. Like, I mean, these all oil and everything kind of hit our target points, and it got fairly close for most of them. So it makes sense that these things are starting to bounce up. But in order for this to recover, we still need to start pushing 85 and doing a lot more work over here than just this. Chop, chop, chop. Let's see if we get bounced. I think I should start getting hit by decay now, so these things should start coming back in price. Oh, no, not yet. I'm still up somehow. So I got in at 110. They're still lingering around 118, 120. Should start, as long as we start pushing over here, we should be fine. If you notice over here, you can see that cut on the B-bands, and we're holding up on support right now. Cloud structure is kind of fucked, so in the next few minutes, it'll play out. Really want to see what happens with good old where is it at? Yeah, really just want to see what happens with Powell. Everybody's expecting the 50, so 50 is kind of what everybody's looking at. As long as it stays the same, we should be fine. I think things will get sketchy if they start raising them, but I think if staying at 50 should be good. Now you said Lulu, and now I want to check out Lulu order flow. Have you seen anything interesting on Lulu for order flow wise? Yeah, nothing for today. Let me go a little further back. Is he on? Looking at dated out plays for this one. I mean, I guess really anything. Just kind of betting on the company kind of going down. I guess this is something that I see interesting for me. 113.23. things, and they're building their play, so it's not bad protection-wise. All right, here we go. Daddy Pal. We need to get the price action up next to it. Look, we're already starting to wick up and down, and he's not even speaking. Hold on, let me get this organized over here. Papa Powell. We'll just open this up on YouTube directly. I don't want to open it up on his page. Ooh, there he is. Let me turn this up here. No smile. What?
Good afternoon.
Let me get my headphones on.
Before I go into the details of today's meeting, I'd like to underscore for the American people that we understand the hardship that high inflation is causing, and that we are strongly committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal. Over the course of the year, we've taken forceful actions to tighten the stance of monetary policy. We've covered a lot of ground, and the full effects of our rapid tightening so far are yet to be felt. Even so, we have more work to do. Price stability is the responsibility of the Federal Reserve and serves as the bedrock of our economy. Without price stability, the economy doesn't work for anyone. In particular, without price stability, we will not achieve a sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all. Today, the FOMC raised our policy interest rate by a half percentage point. We continue to anticipate that ongoing increases will be appropriate in order to attain a stance of monetary policy that is sufficiently restrictive to return inflation to 2% over time. In addition, we're continuing the process of significantly reducing the size of our balance sheet. Restoring price stability will likely require maintaining a restrictive policy stance for some time. I'll have more to say about today's monetary policy actions after briefly reviewing economic developments. The U.S. economy has slowed significantly from last year's rapid pace. Although real GDP rose at a pace of 2.9% last quarter, it is roughly unchanged through the first 3 quarters of this year. Recent indicators point to modest growth of spending and production this quarter. Growth in consumer spending has slowed from last year's rapid pace, in part reflecting lower real disposable income and tighter financial conditions. Activity in the housing sector has weakened significantly, largely reflecting higher mortgage rates.
Need that cloud entry over
Higher
here in the
interest
1 minute
rates
to
and
get us
slower
back
output
up and
growth
over out of
also
here.
appear to be
So if we
weighing on
get that
business
cloud
fixed
entry, we'll get back
investment.
over up to about 405 if we don't start
As
pushing
shown in
out.
our summary of
And we
economic
lose this level
projections,
right
the
over
median
here.
projection for
Red line's
real
kinda where I'm looking
GDP
at.
growth stands at just 0.5% this year and next, well below the median estimate of the longer-run normal growth rate. Despite the slowdown in growth, the labor market remains extremely tight, with the unemployment rate near a 50-year low, job vacancies still very high, and wage growth elevated. Job gains have been robust, with employment rising by an average of 272,000 jobs per month over the last 3 months.
That decay is kicking in hard.
Although
now.
job vacancies have moved below their highs and the pace of job gains has slowed from earlier in the year, the labor market continues to be out of balance, with demand substantially exceeding the supply of available workers.
Yeah, if we lose this level,
The labor force
bad. I might go
participation
ahead and buy
rate
some puts
is
on this
little
one if we
changed
start.
since the beginning of the year.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go buy some
FOMC
puts over
participants
here.
expect supply and
these are
demand conditions in the labor
dying.
market to come into better balance over time,
They went from
easing upward
110
pressures
to
on
69
wages
cents.
and prices.
Sheesh.
The median projection in the SEP for the unemployment rate rises to 4.6% at the end of next year. Inflation remains well above our longer-run goal of 2%.
Yeah, this is gonna
Over the 12 months ending in
those calls
October,
right now.
total PCE prices rose
Looking at puts
6%,
right now to get into.
excluding the volatile food and energy categories. Core PCE prices rose 5%. In November,
Instantly down
the 12-month change in the
46%,
CPI was 7.1%,
50%.
and the change in the core CPI was 6%. The inflation data received so far for October and November show a welcome reduction in the monthly pace of price increases. But it will take substantially more evidence to give confidence that inflation is on a sustained downward path. Price pressures remain evident across a broad range of goods and services. Russia's war against
so I
Ukraine
grabbed
has
those
boosted
395
prices for
puts,
energy and food and has contributed to
and
upward
I'm going to go ahead
pressure
and
on
add to some of
inflation.
those calls just to balance things out.
The median projection in the SEP for total PCE inflation is 5.6% this year and falls to 3.1% next year, 2.5% in 2024, and 2.1% in 2025. Participants continue to see risks to inflation as weighted to the upside. Despite elevated inflation, longer-term inflation expectations appear to remain well anchored, as reflected in a broad range of surveys of households, businesses, and forecasters, as well as measures from financial markets. But that is not grounds for complacency. The longer the current bout of high inflation continues, the greater the chance that expectations of higher inflation will become entrenched. The Fed's monetary policy
guys
actions
are
are
on
guided by our mandate
must
to promote
tweet this
maximum
out.
employment and stable prices for the American people. My colleagues and I are acutely aware that high inflation imposes significant hardship as it erodes purchasing power, especially for those least able to meet the higher costs of essentials like food, housing, and transportation.
Yeah, meat's still expensive.
We are highly attentive to the risks that high inflation poses to both sides of our mandate, and we are strongly
Yeah,
committed
those
to
calls
returning
aren't going to go ahead and recover
inflation
at all.
to
They're
our
already
2%
down 46%,
objective.
so there's no chance these come back.
At today's meeting, the committee raised the target range for the federal funds rate by a half percentage point, bringing the target range to 4.25% to 4.5%. And we are continuing the process of significantly reducing the
So I
size
was
of our
3-1
balance
in
sheet.
calls. I'm going to go ahead and flip over to puts.
With today's action,
More.
we have raised interest rates by 4.25 percentage points this year. We continue to anticipate that ongoing increases in the target range for the federal funds rate will be appropriate in order to attain a stance of monetary policy that is sufficiently restrictive to return inflation to 2% over time. Over the course of the year, financial conditions have tightened significantly in response to our policy actions. Financial conditions fluctuate in the short term in response to many factors, but it is important that over time they reflect the policy restraint that we're putting in place to return inflation to 2%. We are seeing the effects on demand in the most interest-sensitive sectors of the economy, such as housing. It will take time, however, for the full effects of monetary restraint to be realized, especially on inflation.
Yeah, this is we need to get
In
over
light of the
that
cumulative
398,
tightening of
62 level
monetary
over
policy
here.
and the lags with which monetary policy affects economic activity and inflation, the committee decided to raise interest rates by 50 basis points today, a step down
Alright.
from the 75 basis point pace
So 50's
seen
good.
over the
Let's see
previous
if the market
4
reacts,
meetings.
how the market reacts
Of
to
course, 50 basis points is still a historically large increase, and we still have some ways to go. As shown in the SEP, the median projection for the appropriate level of the federal funds rate is 5.1% at the
that.
end
You
of
gonna
next
send it?
year,
It's at 50.
a half percentage point higher than projected in September. The median projection is 4.1% at the end of 2024 and 3.1% at the end of 2025, still above the median estimate of its longer run value.
So I guess
Of
send
course,
the
these
markets,
projections do not represent a committee
Maybe I
decision
should
or
tweet it
plan,
out, keeping it at 50.
and no one knows with any certainty where the economy will be a year or more from now.
We totally know
Our
where the
decisions will
economy's
depend on the
gonna be.
totality of incoming data and their implications for the outlook for economic activity and inflation. And we will continue to make our decisions meeting by meeting and communicate our thinking as clearly as possible. We are taking forceful steps to moderate demand so that it comes into better alignment with supply. Our overarching focus is using our tools to bring inflation back down to our 2% goal
SPXL
and to
coming in
keep
with
longer-term
puts.
inflation expectations well anchored. Reducing inflation is likely
Oh, I
to
thought that was
require
just the
a
estimate that they
sustained
were,
period of
assuming.
below-trend growth and some softening of labor market conditions. Restoring price stability is essential to set the stage for achieving maximum employment and stable prices over the long run. The historical record cautions strongly against prematurely loosening policy. We will stay the course until the job is done. To conclude, we understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses
Well,
across
let's
the
look for some
country.
plays then.
Everything we do is
I
in
thought that was
service
just
to
an
our
estimate at
public
2
mission.
p.m. I didn't think that was the actual.
We at the Fed will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability
I
goals.
mean, it turned out to be that way, but
Thank you. I will look forward to your questions.
well, that's that. All right, let's go over some tickers then. All right, so we're seeing XLE puts coming in now. $80 puts for 120.23. So let's check out XLE, see what's going on over here. So these are the things that I want to go ahead and grab puts on. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and grab some XLE puts. I don't want to grab puts directly on some of the tickers, but I do feel comfortable grabbing something on here. So let's see what we got over here that I want to grab. I might as well just open up my phone and do it. Hang on. Alright, so I want to pick puts over here. So see, looks, it just hops from January right to February 17th. There's no in between. Okay, we can do January 27th or January 20th, one or the other. Let's see which is priced out better. I wouldn't be looking too low. I'm looking for probably 82, 83. So 82, 83 is probably most likely what I want to go ahead and buy. Looks like 83 is probably what's going to end up happening. Just waiting a couple more seconds for this one. I mean, we have power hour coming up in 15 minutes, so we should get a better idea of what the market wants to do. So let me just go hop back to SPY real quick. Any other reaction with the market? I mean, the big thing to really focus on is the fact that we didn't break out over here. So that's not a good sign that we didn't break out. And we didn't really pump out after he ended up speaking either. So this is kind of bad over here if we don't end up recovering back over here. So we have 2 minutes, 40 seconds to go back over here. So I think those 395 puts will go ahead and start paying out because I do see the decay kicking in on these on those SPY puts. I mean the SPY calls that I have. So just adjusting my ratio a little bit on this one. What else do we have over here? What are the movers for today? BNED, plug. Yeah, the plug thing is kind of something I want to go ahead and watch. I want to see if we can get into the clouds over here for a cloud end-to-end play so we can get in at 1675. Looking for a move to about 2021. API setting up beautifully. This is tech plays, so like tech plays are setting up nicely. So this already went through an end-to-end play. These are the things that I'm looking for right now to go ahead and buy and just see if these things can run much further. Because once this starts breaking out of the clouds, this is supposed to be running up to about $6, and we're at 341 right now. So API setup is really nice. I think overall most of the tech tickers are setting up for reversals, so that's going to be a big thing. And what we're looking for is we're looking for things that have been going in a downtrend that are getting ready to enter into a cloud. So if you see that setup over there, let me know and we can check it out. Some of the pharmas and the biotech tickers, they are setting up. I'm just not a fan of playing them because of the fact that it just doesn't seem like the market's ready for any of those tickers to go up right now, and because they're more reliant on fundamentals. All right, what else do we have? I'm still looking to grab some TGB. If we can come down to about 120, 124, I'll go ahead and grab some more TGB. Lumen over here, again, same thing. We're looking for some cloud entries over here so we can start playing these. I definitely do not want to get into anything ahead of time or preemptively. Oh, we're coming back up, huh? Hang on. The thing is that the calls are barely moving now. They already had dumped in half the value right now, so I don't see them recovering at all. We do need to still clear over 401 for any of these things to recover at all whatsoever. So they went from 110 down to 70 cents right now. So we're going to need much more of a push for those calls to come back and recover out. Yeah, if we don't close out properly on this one, like right now, it does look like it's extending down here. So if this just ends up being a deviation, that's beautiful. So right now, just with this deviation, we don't want to break below this point. If we break below here, it just means we're going to end up coming down to 392. I suppose we could still look at the Q&A and about what he's doing.
Do you need to do something about that, and how would you do something about that? Thank you. Credit spreads have come in. The economy
renewed. They're going to be renewed into a market where rates are higher than they were when the original leases were signed. But we see that the new leases that the rate for new leases is coming down. So once we work our way through that backlog, that inflation will come down sometime next year. The third piece, which is something like 55% of the index, PCE, core inflation index, is non-housing related core services.
Yeah,
and
rate
that's
is
really a
changing
function of the
rapidly as
labor
well.
market largely. It's the biggest cost by far in that sector is labor. And we do see a very, very strong labor market, one where we haven't seen much softening, where job growth is very high, where wages are very high, vacancies are quite elevated, and really there's an imbalance in the labor market between supply and demand. So that part of it, which is the biggest part, is likely to take a substantial period to get down. The goods inflation has turned pretty quickly now, after not turning at all for a year and a half. Now it seems to be turning, but there's an expectation really that the services inflation will not move down so quickly, so that we'll have to stay at it, so that we may have to raise rates higher to get to where we want to go. And that's really why we are writing down those high rates and why we're expecting that they'll have to remain high for a time.
Howard Schneider with Reuters. Thanks for taking the question. You described GDP growth in the SEPs as moderate or modest, I believe. Yet it's really approaching stall speed. Half a percentage point is not much. You described labor market unemployment rate as representing some softening, but it's nearly a full percentage point rise, and that's well in excess of what has historically been associated with recession. Why wouldn't this be considered a recessionary projection by the Fed?
Well, I'll tell you what the projection is. I don't think it would
another
qualify
one
as a
over here,
recession,
packet
though, because you've
software.
got
So
positive
again,
growth.
these
The
tech tickers are
expectations in the
really
SEP
setting up.
are
So if you guys have
basically,
any kind of tech
as you
tickers,
said, which
those
is
are
we've got
things that you
growth
probably want to focus
at
at.
a
That's where it
modest
seems
level,
like
which
there's
is
a lot
to say
of
about a
rotation
half a
coming in
percentage
at.
point. That's positive
Kirk
growth.
looks pretty bad
It's
if it
slow
breaks out
growth.
of
It's
cloud.
well below trend. It's not going to feel like a boom. It's going to feel like very slow growth, right? In that condition, labor market conditions are softening a bit. Unemployment does go up a bit.
Farmers market
I
still
would
looks
say
very,
that
very good.
many
As long as we can
analysts
consolidate just
believe
a little
that
bit more
the
into
natural rate of unemployment
Christmas
is
time, we
actually
should be able to pop over
elevated
35.
at this moment. So it's not clear that those forecasts of inflation are really much above the natural rate of unemployment. We can never identify its location with great precision. But that 4.7% is still a strong labor market. If you look, you've got the reports we get from the field are that companies are very reluctant to lay people
the calls
off,
aren't
other
gonna
than the
recover
tech
at all.
companies, which is
These
a
things are pretty
story
much
unto
dead.
itself.
So I'm gonna go ahead and
Generally,
take
companies
this out
want to
over here
hold
on
on
the
to the
calls.
workers they have because it's been very, very hard to hire. So, and you've got all these vacancies out there far in excess of the number of employed people. That doesn't sound like a labor market where a lot of people will need to be put out of work. So that there are channels through which the labor market can come back into balance with relatively modest increases in unemployment, we
If
believe.
calls have any
None
kind
of
of
that is
chance at all
guaranteed,
whatsoever
but
for the
that,
market, I
that
would
is
say
what their
within the
forecast
next
reflects.
15 minutes, if the calls don't start pumping out or if the price doesn't start moving to the upside. I mean, the way that we've been dumping down right now, we need price
Thanks, Nick
movement over
Timmeros, The Wall
400
Street
now,
Journal.
not even
Chair Powell, I want to follow up on
over
Gina's
Keegan.
question.
So-
The decision to step down the pace of rate
this
rises
isn't good at all. This leads more,
appears to have been
leads me to believe that
socialized
we're
at
gonna
your
be coming
last
down to
meeting,
about
largely
392. So the
before
395
the
calls
past
should
two
go ahead and pay,
CPI
or puts should
reports
pay out,
showed
but
inflation
the calls are
decelerating
destroyed.
in line with the committee's forecast this year. You just now talked about making decisions meeting by meeting and being mindful of the lags of policy. Does that mean, all things equal, you would feel more comfortable probing where the terminal rate is by moving in 25
somebody
basis
call me.
point
This is
increments,
important.
including beginning at your next meeting?
So I haven't made a judgment on what size rate hike to make at the last meeting. But what you said is broadly right, which is having moved so quickly and having now so much restraint that's still in the pipeline, we think that the appropriate thing to do now is to move to a slower pace. And that will allow us to feel our way and and get to that level, we think, and better balance the risks that we face. So that's the idea. It makes a lot of sense, it seems to me, particularly if you consider how far we've come. But again, I can't tell you today what the actual size of that will be. It will depend on a variety of factors, including the incoming data in particular, the state of the economy, the state of financial conditions.
Ooh, you FOMO'd? I knew you were gonna do that. I was like, these things are cheap. I probably shouldn't bring them up while you're on stream. Let me bring you up. Let me show you the other
absolutely
things
not.
if you have any.
No, as a just a matter of practice, the SEP reflects any data that comes out during the meeting, and participants know that they know that they can make changes to their SEP during the meeting, well in advance of the press conference, so that we're not running around. But that's not the case. It's never the case that the SEPs don't reflect an important piece of data that came in on the first day of the meeting.
Yeah, I ended up grabbing some of these lunchbox things, so that's kind of something more.
Hi, Chair Powell. Rachel Siegel from the Washington Post. Thank you for taking our questions. I'm wondering if we could talk about the projection for the unemployment rate. Why has the Fed raised its unemployment projection? Is it because the models suggest that a higher terminal rate would automatically cause a higher unemployment rate, or are you seeing signs that the labor market isn't quite as strong as we think it is now? Thanks.
No, it's not about the strength of the labor market. The labor market is clearly very strong. It is more just that, by now,
people don't want to work.
We had expected, we've continually expected to make faster progress on inflation than we have, ultimately. And that's why the peak rate for this year goes up between this meeting and the September meeting. You see the fact that we've made less progress than expected on inflation. So that's why that goes up. And that's why unemployment goes up, because we're having to tighten policy more. And so it didn't go up by much in the meeting, I don't think, but that's the idea, is slower progress on inflation, tighter policy, probably higher rates, probably held for longer, just to get to where the kind of restriction that you need to get inflation down to 2%.
Yeah, this is one of my bags that I
In
have.
order to get to that number, how much
I've never
of that could be
traded
caused by
bonds
layoffs
before, but a
versus
couple months ago, or
vacancies
like a month or
trimming
two ago, I
changes to
ended up
the
grabbing some of these
labor
down
force
around this
population
point.
rate?
It was a
It's
little
very hard
preemptive
to
of a
say,
bet, but this should turn out really nicely.
You can look at
The other
history,
one that we
right?
want to look at again is UNG.
Would
So
say
looking
that
for UNG to flip
in a
back over
situation
21
like
so we
this,
can play
the
natural gas
declines in
again.
unemployment would be more meaningful, I think, than what you
names
see
to look
written
at
down
for
there.
over
But
here.
why do we think
You
that
can
is the
flip over
case? So I'll give you a
58
few
on
reasons.
CNQ.
First, just is that there's this huge overhang of vacancies, meaning that vacancies can come down a fair amount, and we're hearing from many companies that they don't want to lay people off, so that they'll keep people because it's been so hard. I mean, I think it feels like we have a structural labor shortage out there, where there are 4 million
Dollar
fewer
General
people, a
flipping
little
back
more than
over
4
to
million,
53 will get interesting.
who are
It
in the
should pump out.
workforce available to work than there's demand for workforce. So the fact that there's a strong labor market,
Here's something
means
I could point out. Let me pause this real
that
quick.
companies will hold.
Something as far as like structures go, like things like this. So if you notice the structure over here with the cloud, everything's opening up wide, consolidating below the Tenkan and Kijun. But then when you come over here to DPZ is coming over an FTA. Everything's starting to bend out and the cloud's starting to close out. So if you're ever looking for plays or something and you're wanting to do some kind of swings or scalps, just be careful when you're doing something like this, because that doesn't show good cloud structure. But when you have cloud structure like this, that's good cloud structure. And this also sets you up for a little bit of patience to figure out if we're going to go into the clouds. And if you notice, there's a good distance over here with all this stuff for us to go ahead and play through. When it's this one, it just starts getting tighter and tighter, and you have less of a gap to play. And then it becomes, are you going to play an FTA play to where it's going to break down further? For most people who don't know what they're doing, the cloud entry play is probably the most simplest of plays, so you guys don't have to get caught up in other things. Starbucks is good. Starbucks is still on its uptrend. Should hit about 108. I didn't even get them yet. I kept saying I was going to grab them. Should have grabbed them. Hold on. I had them open too. Alright, which ones do I want to grab? Yeah, thank you for that reminder, because I would have waited until the last like 15 minutes and completely wrecked myself. Where is Cheddar Flow? quickly. All right. Let's see if there's any opening orders for today. I mean, there's not really much data for today. So if I was going to grab anything, it'd be on 120. Are we getting the end-to-end on SPY? Are we doing it? I didn't see any kind of end-to-end plays on SPY over here. The one I'm concerned about is on the 4-hour. If we start breaking into the 4-hour cloud, that should be bad. But yeah, that's what we're looking for right now on this power hour. So hopefully within the next 5 minutes, we can get into the clouds over here and push to about 401. That's the only thing that's going to recover out calls and people that got into calls before this little dump. So yeah, looking for this cloud entry over here, push to about 401 over here, and then we'll figure out if we're going to go ahead and continue. I mean, it sounds like he has things under control, and they are definitely working on them. He doesn't sound uncertain as he did before. So I say let's pump it. Just a couple more minutes, so it's kind of funny how this is panning out right into power hour.
This time it was at the police news conference.
What's this video that's popping up? Hang on. We gotta share this one. Never forget.
This time it's happened again. Another sign language interpreter accused of signing total gibberish. This time it was at the police news conference announcing an arrest in the Tampa serial killings.
We will be charging 4 counts of first-degree murder.
Standing off to the side, apparently translating every word, this woman.
We received over...
Yo, that's hilarious. Yeah, this is the downside of trading. I just have to wait for signals. Whenever I play, there's certain times where you can play preemptively, and there's times you can't. The preemptively ones, I've told you guys before, it's that hook that you want to look for on B-bands, and that's kind of what you want to look for there.
Hold on to work.
Currently forecast
Cuts. And we think that we'll have to maintain a restrictive stance of policy for some time. Historical experience cautions strongly against prematurely loosening policy.
I'm waiting on those
I guess
XLE puts right
I would
now.
say
Just
it this
like to
way.
see what happens
I
over here
wouldn't
with
see us
power hour,
considering rate
and,
cuts
I'll
until
grab
the
into them
committee
in a
is
moment.
confident that inflation is moving down to 2% in a sustained way. So that's the
I mean, it looks
test that
good right now for
articulate.
a pump,
And
so
you're
it should get
correct.
out of here.
There are not rate cuts in the
I'm
SEP
still in
for
that 3-1
2023.
ratio of calls to put, so calls would help out if they end up recovering out a little bit more, but if we start riding down the clouds, that'll be
Steve
bad news bears
Matthews
like
with
we are right now.
Bloomberg. Let me ask you about
So rejection over here
China.
is bad.
In the
That's
last
something that
few
ends up happening
weeks,
a lot.
China has abandoned its COVID policy and been reopening pretty strongly. I'm wondering if you see that as disinflationary because you're seeing supply chains improve, or inflationary
Yeah,
because
China
it
ripped off the bandit.
obviously
They were
brings
like,
a
yeah,
lot more
COVID?
demand globally, improves the global outlook for growth and for commodities prices.
This will be an interesting answer.
And so you're right. Those two things will offset each other. Weaker output in China will push down on commodity prices, but it could interfere with supply chains ultimately, and that could push inflation up in the West. It's very hard to say, how much how those two will offset each other, and it doesn't seem likely actually that the overall net effect would be material on us. But to your point, China faces a very challenging situation in reopening. And we've seen waves of COVID all around the world can interfere with economic activity.
Well, 1 minute
China,
more
a
if we
very
can't get this
critical
cloud entry. It's pretty much all over there.
Place for manufacturing and exporting. Their supply chain is very important. China faces a reopening. They've backed away from their COVID restriction policies. There could be very significant increases in COVID, and we'll just have to see. It's a risky situation. But again, it doesn't seem like it's likely to have material overall effects on us.
Chris.
Hi, Chris Rugaber at Associated Press. Thank you for taking my question. I wondered if you could comment a bit more about yesterday's inflation report. I mean, it showed inflation cooling in all three of the categories that you laid out at
Can we do
Brookings.
it?
Are you starting to
Can we
see,
get in?
are you confident that you're seeing real progress on getting inflation under
Seconds
control?
left. Can we get that cloud entry over here?
Are you
Come
still
on,
worried
don't
it
get
could
rejected.
slip into some kind of unentrenched, upward spiral?
All right, we're in.
Thank you.
Just need that bullish
Right,
TK
so
over here to confirm.
The
but
data
should
that
be
we've
good to go.
received so far for October and
Still
November,
wanted
we
to
don't have
fall
the some of the we have some remaining
if you
data
notice
to
the
get in
bullish,
November,
if you
but
notice
they
the
clearly
B
do
bands
show
over here, it is
a
starting to
welcome
cut over, which is a
reduction
good
in the
sign.
monthly pace of price increases.
Airbnb
As I
with
mentioned
the,
in my opening
big
statement, it
puts
will
over
take
here. I wonder if
substantially more evidence to give confidence that inflation is on a sustained downward path. So the way we think about this is this.
That's
This
not good
report
for
is very
Airbnb.
much in line with what we've been expecting and hoping for. And what it does is
mean,
it
with
provides
everything
greater
with the housing
confidence
market and
in
everything, I
our
would assume
forecast of
Airbnb
declining
goes much
inflation.
lower. What are these guys
As I
doing
mentioned,
for?
we've been expecting forecasting significant declines in overall inflation and core inflation in the coming year.
I would say
and
right
this
now
is the kind of
$70
reading
seems
that it
more
will
like a
take
decent target
to
for,
support that. So
Airbnb.
really this gives us greater confidence in our forecast rather than at this point changing our forecast. In terms of the
75
pieces,
point?
we have been expecting goods inflation to come down as supply chain pressures eased. That's happening now. Housing services, as I
All right, power
mentioned,
hours
there
into
is
the
good
clouds.
news in
Let's
the
see if we can get
pipeline
this
as
pushed
long
through, or if
as
we're gonna get into audits right off the
new
bat.
housing leases show declining inflation. That will show up in the measure around the middle of next year, so that should help. And the big piece, again, is core services ex housing, which is very important, and we have a ways to go there.
If you notice
do
the
see
B-bands in
some
white, that's
beginning
starting to tighten up
signs
as
there,
well.
but ultimately, that's the big, that more than half, as I mentioned, of
So really the
PCE
big
core
invalidation
index,
point right now would
and,
be this
it's very
398 point, which technically you
fundamentally
can just
about
extend
the
it out to
labor
this red
market
line. If this red line
and,
breaks again,
and wages. If
won't
you
be
look
good
at
at all.
wages, look at the average hourly earnings number we got with the last payrolls report. You don't really see much progress in terms of our average hourly earnings coming down. Now there may be composition effects and other effects in that, so we don't put too much weight on any one report. These things can be volatile month to month, but we'll be looking for wages moving, down to more normal levels where workers are doing well and ultimately their gains are not being eaten up by inflation.
Michael,
Excuse me, Michael McKee from Bloomberg Radio and Television. There's a little bit of a disconnect between the optimistic view you just expressed about the economy and the changes that you've made in the SEP.
Yeah, cloud structure's closing over here.
And I'm
So, yeah,
wondering
this
if
looks
you're
good.
reacting
looks good for this
to
move up over here. We
the
have
fact
50
that the
minutes left,
markets
so
have
plenty of time left
loosened
to go ahead and push
financial
on
conditions,
through.
or if you feel the
Yeah,
Fed
I
may
don't
be
see
a little
anything
bit
wrong with this just
behind
yet. Everything's
on
looking good.
inflation, whether
Focus is
the
over
recent
here,
disinflation we're
focus is
seeing
over
is
here.
transitory or not, and how this
and
affects the idea of
I mean,
a
the
soft
issue with
landing
this,
if you're
I guess, would
projecting
be
just
is
0.5%
if you got
growth
in
for this year.
while we were chopping.
So,
it's probably bad, but
if
if you
I-
got
if I-
in now, this should recover
think I
back
got your
over, and you
question.
should make
So,
more profit on this one.
One
So
thing
now
is
that we're
to
coming
say
up over here
is,
on the 1
I think
minute,
our
let's go to the
policies
5
and
minute. That's
getting
kind of
into a
the
pretty
next
good place
focus.
now. We're
So
restrictive.
5 minute
and I
has
think
levels
we're-
of its own, so
we're
that's kind of
getting
how
close
you
to
want to
that
use
level
each. If you're
of
seeing 1 minute entries
sufficient,
over
we
here,
think, sufficiently
just keep in mind
restrictive.
where the
We
top
laid
base
out
of the
today
cloud
what our
is,
best estimates
and
are,
then go ahead and flip over to the next time frame and
to
figure
get
out where
there.
these levels end up being for the next one. So
and,
notice how we flipped over to
I mean, it
3,
boils down to how
matches
long
up
do we
right
think
with the
this process is
Kijin,
gonna
tapping
take?
right on the Kijin
And,
right
of
now.
course, we
So we
welcome
need to start pushing
these
over because right now
better
we've just hit
inflation
the top of
reports
the
for the
clouds
last
on
2
the 1
months.
minute
They're very
chart.
welcome, but
What did
I
these
think we're
come back up to?
realistic about the broader
So these
project.
things went from 40 back
So
to 60
that's
cents
all,
over here. So we
that's the
really
point
need
I
to
would
push
make.
over
It's,
here on the 3 minute.
we see
3 minutes kind of just a
goods prices
midpoint,
coming
but
down.
5
We
minutes is probably a
understand what
better
will happen
point. So
with,
again, Kijin over here,
housing
flat line.
services, but the big story
Not
will
the
really
best
be
setup on
the
the
rest of it, and
5
there's not
minute. It's
much
more so the
progress
1
there, and
minute would
that's
have been
gonna
just
take
a real
some
quick
time. I
scalp
think
on it. So
my
probably
view
best
and my
idea to get
colleagues'
out of
view
it.
is
So
that
what
this
we
will
need to
take some
recover
time.
over
We'll
here
have
would
to
be
hold
is
policy
this level.
at a
This is
restrictive
probably the
level
most
for a
important
sustained
one.
period, so that
Is getting back over 402.39. With us having only a little bit of time left, I don't believe that happens.
very welcome.
What's
Of course,
more
they're very
ideal to
welcome.
happen
But
is that we
I
chop
think we
out
need
a
to be
little
honest
bit
with
more
ourselves
and
that
then
there's,
fall out of the clouds.
inflation,
So
12-month
this
core
technically is a
inflation
completed 1 minute
6%
scalp.
CPI. That's 3 times our 2%.
So I really want to see if we can
target.
flip out over
Now,
here at the
it's good to see progress, but let's
495
just
area.
understand we have
If
a
we
long
can
ways
break
to
out
go
over here, I mean, we
to
have
get back to
levels
price
above and
stability.
above to clear over. But the main level, I guess, would be is that 15-minute Kijin
No, I
level.
wouldn't say that.
I mean, 15-minute
No,
clout level.
I don't say that. I mean, I would say this, to the extent we need to keep rates higher and keep them there for longer and inflation, moves up higher and higher, I think that narrows the runway. But lower inflation readings, if they persist in time, could certainly make it more possible.
Notice we're
So
riding
I
out
don't
the
think
B-bands right
anyone
now,
knows
so that's why I'm just thinking
whether
more
we're going
so
to have
that,
a recession or
since
not.
we're
And if we
riding out
do,
over here, a little bit of
whether it's going to
consolidation
be
before we
a
figure out
deep
where
one
we're
or
going to
not.
move.
It's not
and
knowable.
Max
And,
Payne's scenario would
certainly,
be is
you know,
chop us
lower
out till the end of the
inflation
day and
it's
go ahead
worthy
and
to
wreck
continue
people over
for
here.
a
so.
period of time. would increase the
This
likelihood
doesn't look too good right now.
So I would put it this way, of
This is probably a good
return
exit
to
point for
price
me to get out
stability
of my
that
calls.
involves significantly less,
But they're lottos, so we're
less of
gonna
an
let these
increase in
ride and figure out
unemployment
what
than would
happens.
be
Remember, I'm in a
expected
3-1
given the
call
historical
ratio for
record.
my spy plays, so I'm in more calls than puts, but I do have some puts over here. 395 puts.
Hi, Chairman Powell. Brian Chung, NBC News. You warned Americans of pain earlier this year as the Fed hikes rates, but with the Fed now expected to raise rates higher than you
Youngest
thought when
guy
you
there.
first said that, just wondering where we are in that pain. How would you describe that to Americans if the projections on unemployment find themselves? That would be 1.6 million Americans out of jobs.
So the largest amount of pain, the worst pain would come from a failure
Coming back
to
down, so,
raise rates high enough
levels to
and from
make sure we
us
stay above over
allowing
here for the 1 minute
inflation to
would be
become
this
entrenched in the
pre-dump level over
economy
here. So if we go
so
ahead and extend
that
out this pre-dump
the
level,
ultimate
we're looking
cost
at
of getting it out of the
399.40.
economy would be very high
So a little bit of chop
in
over
terms
here
of
makes sense.
unemployment,
Heat and,
meaning
10-day
very high
tap.
unemployment for extended periods of time, the
Focuses
kind of
on the
thing that
cloud
had to
structure,
happen
making sure the cloud
when
structure
inflation
opens
really
up.
got out of control
Things
and the
that you
Fed
don't
didn't
want to happen
respond
is something
aggressively
like
enough
this,
or
where we
soon
start
enough
closing out
in a
and cloud
prior episode,
closes out like that,
50
like
years
that's
ago.
bad.
So that's really the worst pain would be if we failed to act. What we're doing now is, it's raising interest rates for people, and so people are paying higher rates on mortgages and that kind of thing. There will
what
be
we
some
want.
softening in labor market conditions, and I wish there were a completely painless way
And I would
to
say 330 if it
restore
doesn't move
price
by
stability.
345 at the
There
latest.
isn't.
That's
And
pretty much it.
this is the best we can do. I do think, though, that and markets
so
are
hungry.
pretty confident, it seems to me, that we will get inflation under control, and I believe we will. We're certainly highly
Hit the
committed to
sub
do
button
that.
if you guys aren't already subbed to my Twitch. Hit it. I mean, I'm saying Twitch. The
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Grady
It's
Trimble with
actually
Fox
free, I
Business.
think.
You've reiterated today, and the committee has reiterated its commitment to that 2% inflation target. I wonder, is there ever a point where you actually reevaluate that target and maybe?
All right, we're done with you. Yeah, I mean, it's really just last minute observations over here. What he needed to say needed to happen, happened. We had, I guess, 3 different type of move sets over here. We had a move set over here, missed that one, missed this one as well. Ended up catching a little bit of this one up over here to the upside and just like the down tick over here. But yeah, let's see. Going over here on daily on SPY. Let me pull this up. Again, we're coming over to an FTA, so I still expect a little bit of a pullback if we do come back down. But if we can manage to break out of this diagonal, and we can make it past this FTA over here. So this says Thursday the 22nd. So yeah, if we can make sure we stay above 392 for next week, we should be fine. This is probably a better reaction for FOMC, where we're having a double-sided candle, a Darth Maul candle. That's kind of what I'm more so used to for this market, rather than what we did the last time, where it was just a pure directional move afterwards. So as you notice over here, like top of the clouds, bouncing on the Tenkin. If we lose the Tenkin, it's just everything's just gonna get bad. So yeah, those calls came back down to 46. So those things are moving pretty heavily. So it's pretty volatile in the options market right now. I can't imagine what SPX is at. Let me look at CLF's feed and see what he got. That 3900 SPX, yeah. Yeah, not bad. He got his puts played out. That's really the biggest thing, is once you see those profits getting taken, a lot of people try to wait for those 100%ers. 15 to 20% is good, especially if you're doing fast scalps on SPY, and especially if you're just doing 1 week option plays. If you're doing something like 2-3 weeks out, yeah, you could probably aim for like 40-50%, but those 100% ones, those you typically end up capturing when you have moves like this, like whenever you have something like a cloud setup over here perfectly forming out. That's where you capture out those 100%. 100% on SPY is more so when you have macro setups on your Ichi clouds. So whenever you see something on the 4-hour or the daily clouds happening, that's where you want to look for those 100%ers. But if you're just trading lower time frame scalps, you just want to basically get in and get out. You don't want to get stuck in your position for too long. And if you don't have that 25K to do the pattern day trading thing, just keep in mind you can do a minimal set of trades per week. Rest of it should be just spot plays anyway. So notice how that cloud thing is starting to turn up. So we're not closing out of the clouds. We are opening up. So that is a very good sign. So we still have about 50 minutes left that we can push out in the next 5 minutes up over this point. We should be able to hit this 4250 point. And that's kind of where I'm interested to see what happens over there and how this pushes up. Yo, what do I eat tonight? That's the real question. Yeah, this is the boring part of trading. Is just waiting for price action to play out. So it looks like we are getting that push within the next before the next 5 minutes. So very, very good. Not bad at all. Like kind of pretty much followed on point with everything I kind of drew out over here. Sometimes SPY is easy, not always, but sometimes. It's mostly with the setups. The things that you want to avoid is chop. I've said that before plenty of times. You really want to stay out of chop unless you're doing something more complicated. Chop is like your worst enemy. Hence why I try to get you guys on the cloud plays, just because that gives you a good, decent gap, and it gives you a good chance for volatility to expand out a little bit more. So looks like we're coming up on the level over here at about 402. Keep in mind what we want to do is make sure we're flipping on the 15. So the 15 closes in the next 3 minutes. So you want to make sure this 15 closes as close as possible to the mid B bands point. You don't want this to reject. You want it to close over because the next candle needs to be open above the clouds or inside the clouds. So nice little reaction over here. Just need to make sure we're flipping on those levels. But yeah, this is working out like a charm. These things are up to 78 cents. Maybe there's still hope. I just don't like it when we start extending outside the B bands. You guys should know that by now. Is if we extend outside the B bands, leaves us for consolidation over here. So if we do get over here and we do start extending out a little bit, consolidation at this point is good. I don't think we have enough time in the day to really get some price action movements going, but it would be beautiful if we can flip back over this 404 point. That'll set us up really nicely, but yeah, not really hopeful on here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get my YouTube streams back going on. I see there's not that many people in here today. Those XLE puts, I'm still waiting on those XLE puts. Not getting into this yet until I see some kind of reaction on SPY. We'll come back to them in just a moment. Yeah, this isn't probably not the best time to go ahead and grab these. What my focus right now is on the 4 hour. If for some reason we start clearing back over 89 on the 4 hour, it'll be pretty bad. So what I'm looking for right now is making sure we stay below this point on XLEs, below that 89.48 point, because we do have an FTA right now. So you guys should know the FTA by now. There's a price expectancy where, like, you know, sometimes it's just going to break through the FTA, but then there's other points where I haven't really discussed this much with stream, so it's something I'll have to discuss with you guys in more detail another time. But yeah, with things like this, what I typically expect is that we ride underneath the clouds, and then maybe we can bounce in and get it up a little higher. But typically, we end up projecting below the FTA. If we start breaking beyond this FTA, or we start looking like we're going to go through, then that means there's unnecessary strength over here. So I typically don't see that happen often in the market. There's certain situations that does happen in, but typically that doesn't happen. So. Yo, these things are coming back to life. So I had to fix out my cost average on that one, because if you guys remember on stream, I got in at 110. Those fuckers dumped down to 40 cents. I ended up adding back in at 40 a little bit more. So, yeah, I'm back up. We're back in the positive now. So they're back up at 85, 76, kind of just trending around over here. So as long as you keep getting this directional movement, it's good. I see decay kicking back in once we go below 402.38. If you guys, this is why I say to you guys to trade like the SPY contracts, even if you're just doing one, and you're just learning how to do it, because it'll give you a really good idea of like, options decay and how things work out in that sense, and like what ticks, hurt your plays and what ticks don't hurt your plays. So, cause like, look, we just went from 80 back down to 68 cents. So the volatility is pretty crazy over here. Anything going on my Twitter feed? Oh yeah, let's check out crypto land. Let's check out Ethereum. Did any of my shorts get filled? No. Motherfucker. Yeah, this isn't the best sign in crypto land. Looks like we dumped completely out on that one. Let me just check out in Bitcoin. Oof. Oof. Yeah, Bitcoin's gonna have much harder of a time recovering this entire dump. So Bitcoin should reject out at 18.2. I should probably just enter in those ETH shorts now, if anything. So yeah, all a matter of SPY. So right now, again, what I'm seeing right now is that we need to make sure we're doing something like this, a little bit of consolidation before we pop up. If for some reason we start breaking down too low, it'll just start getting down a little lower. And again, keep in mind where the FTA is. Yeah, we can flip over to crypto right now. Yeah, I mean, Ethereum I still think should go ahead and pump out a little bit. So ETH is not going to 3 digits. I mean, hey, it's all a matter of opinion. I think it will. I still do think that 3 ETH is possible. The biggest thing is because we haven't been able to recover a dump at any time. If you want me to give you any kind of hopium, it's the fact that the price action hasn't dumped out. With all this news, all this FUD, everything going around, price hasn't dumped out at all. So yeah, that's probably my biggest sign for being bullish is that why hasn't the market reacted to all this FUD, the Binance FUD, the all the FUDs that have been going on? And it's just I'm so surprised crypto hasn't dumped out. So the question ends up being, are these people waiting to sell higher, or are we actually going to keep going up? So that's kind of where things lie right now with crypto, is making sure we recover back over these previous dumps. So making sure we're back over this 1525 range, consolidating a little bit, and ideally clearing over 1675. That'll really get us set up. But this is where my shorts are right now. I have shorts at 14, this 14 area. For the 3 digits thesis is pretty much basically, yeah, the same shit that we did before. We chopped last time when a couple years back, and we ended up coming down. So let's just go over here. Let's go out on the weekly. Yeah, I mean, weekly wise with ET, I would say at the very, very least, we should come down to about right here. So yeah, maybe I don't see us breaking down below 7, but I could definitely see something between 7, something between 8 and 1,000 coming up. We need to clear so many more levels on the weekly right now for us to come back up and start clearing back over on ETH, that it just doesn't seem like it's going to be something that we can do. I mean, if you notice over here with the Kijun and the B-Bands point, that's why this 1527 14 level is going to be very, very important. And that's kind of what's going to set apart. But like right now, I guess like the thesis of 3-digit ETH is probably not looking too good, but the market environment isn't good right now either. So I'm going to kind of lean more towards everything being bearish, because I remember previously I got bullish on it and we ended up dumping out. So while things are different with price action and everything, I feel like it's just better and safer for me to assume that the markets are going to go ahead and dump out and to play shorts right now, because nothing is showing on any time frame that things are getting good. Like there's only hopium we're getting is on the 4-hour, and we still have levels to break over. Like if we go over here on the left, this is purely price action wise. Let's go here, price action. I mean, that's a pretty ugly rejection up over here. So that's not good that we got rejected at these same points that we pumped at. So that's bad. That's not good at all. That's why it becomes more and more important that we come back over this at this 1340 area. Also, like with Bitcoin over here, let me just pull this up. With Bitcoin, the whole thing with this is that I'm still waiting for people to start calling out dibs on Bitcoin. So that's kind of where this lies, is that we're starting to form something that might look like a hidden div, whatever people call it, a hidden div. So maybe a little bit more chop, but essentially I'm looking for something around this point, the 15, 14 area, for Bitcoin to go ahead and bounce out. If Ethereum can manage to hold up, if we do come down over here, yeah, then we're good to go. Then 3-digit ETH is going to just be a dream. Everybody keeps saying DCA, DCA, DCA. I'm not fucking DCAing right now. I'll DCA if we get to 3-digit ETH. If not, I'll wait for confirmation for higher. I don't mind buying a little bit higher. It's okay. It's not that big of a deal. So, and if worst comes to worst, I told you guys before, I'm I've been making more money off NFTs right now than off of trading. So I'm in NFTs. ETH goes up, my NFTs are still valued at the same price, so it's a win-win for me. So I'm not gonna lose either way. We can talk a little bit about NFTs over here. Yeah, so this lunchbox thing is what I was talking about. I wonder how these things are doing. You missed these, Luho. I was shilling these out to people when they were really, really cheap. You might be able to still scoop some rares over here, but it's going to be a longer-term investment on these things. But yeah, if you're buying something like this, I think these have a much better chance of going higher, especially if you're buying rares over here. But those little commie things are going nicely too. I saw these skeleton guys finally started up pumping up again. So these things ended up pumping up to 0.05 yesterday. So that was pretty nice to see these things come up. Still a very small project, but they're still active and they're still building and they're still doing their thing. So it's just a matter of time, because I know the people that are in this, they're the same people that were, well, the people who introduced me to skeleton guys were the same people who created little commies. So the little commie ones, it's just very interesting because it's all just a big circle. So if we can get these little commie things to keep pushing out on volume, people will start taking profit and they will start rolling into profits on other things. And if they're still active in communities, it'll just start pumping. So it's a lot more difficult to play NFTs right now, but if you know where to look and what you're doing, it definitely pays off. Like these I was showing you guys at 0.6, even 0.5 you could have set your bids on, and these things are just starting to moon out and move too. People are buying 1.5. People are starting to grab the rares. People were asking me to grab some of my things, and I was like, no, I'm not selling you none of my stuff. And this is like art. This is the one thing that I consider to be actual art. And I'm not shilling this. Nobody's paying me to shill any of these NFTs. I've never, ever gotten paid by a single NFT project ever. I don't do that shit. Like, if you want to give me NFTs, that's cool. But even then, I haven't had anybody give me NFTs. People who give me NFTs, they're like honoraries and they don't even really sell. So, yeah, I don't do those NFT promotions. But yeah, this is just historical AI art. That was the first AI art, and it's abstract art, which I think is considered art. So that leads me to my comment of NFTs on look at this one. This is actually pretty rare. It has an eye over here. I don't know what's going on with this one, but it looks like it's an arm with an eye. It's whatever your eye makes it, just abstract art. I think this is very cool because people see different things when they look at it. Yeah, teams do literally move on and make a new project just to get that hype going, and those end up being the scams. So if I end up seeing teams that just flip around, so yeah, don't get me wrong, the skeleton guys, it wasn't the team members who introduced it to me. Somebody else introduced it to me. They were just basically telling me that these things are cool, they're the vibe, and I was like, all right, cool, man, I'll buy these. I bought a bunch of them at 0.01, so I am technically up. But then that same person who told me about skeleton guys, he ended up launching commies, was like, you know what, I'm gonna make a cool project. It's a pixel project over here, let's fucking do it. And he did it, and here he is right now with 471 ETH volume. These things are pumping to 0.1 ETH, so like, I'm beyond happy for him. Like, that's awesome. Let me give him a shout out too. Like, big shout out to Caleb, man. Like, dude's been grinding out his stuff and just been making sure he makes money in the space. This is what I mean. Like, these guys are not part of the team. It's just for skeleton guys. They were just community members that really like the skeleton project, and they've been supporting it back and forth. So now they're doing giveaways for things, and they're probably going to start sweeping things because they like it. So that's awesome. Like, I'm so excited for these guys. No, for the Caleb one, for the little commie ones, yeah, I know the guy for this one. So I didn't have any kind of like privilege access or anything of the sorts. So I didn't even end up buying him when he told me. So, but yeah, I do know the guy. Not like in real life, but he's been in the crypto space for a while, and I've tossed NFT ideas around with him before. The other projects, I guess, the ones that I'm looking at are still Shattered Eons. I still think Shattered Eons is going to do big things. Again, these things are just slow-moving things right now. Some of these things are moving very, very slowly, and I think over time, once they start releasing a little bit more things, they'll start gaining a little bit more value over here. Like, these things are, right, oh wow, Why is this guy selling his for so cheap? Look, if anybody wants to get started right now, this one's unnecessarily cheap at $9. So, but yeah, I mean, this is kind of something that I'm more so betting on is that Shattered Eons project. I have a shitload of Shattered Eons, so and you guys will get them at cheaper prices than I did because I paid a lot more for them. I minted them, so I'm down on mint heavily. But I'm gonna be getting those ARP drops. Best way I can explain this is that it's kind of more like it's a Clash of Clans type of game. So, ooh, that's not who I'm looking for. And then the other guys that I haven't really even looked into them. They just happened to message me, and somebody I know on the team was like, "Hey, you want beta access?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." Evolving Forest, yeah, these guys. I don't even have a single one right now, so I don't even know if I'll be able to play beta access without buying one. But yeah, they're still fairly cheap over here. I keep checking these out, seeing how often we get volume kicking in. So. Yeah, cheap projects over here. Those just gaming ones are kind of the ones that I'm really, really interested in because I do think the gaming things will take off. It's just you need development in gaming. And that brings me to my next topic with the whole SEC. I think I tweeted it yesterday. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see what Spy's doing over here. Shit. Yeah, here we go. Fuck, I should have been paying attention over here. So, yeah, it looks like we followed the second line over here. So, we didn't end up breaking beyond this point and consolidating. We ended up just coming down. I bet that really destroyed everything right there. Yeah, that brought it down to 39 now. So, yeah, this isn't a good sign. This should end up just coming down now, and we should open up poorly tomorrow. So, not a good sign at all. There's no way we gap up tomorrow on this. Yeah, 15-minute got rejected up over here. So that's pretty much a wrap over here with this one. Unless somehow we can recover in the next 5-10 minutes, this should be the price action for the day. Bearish TK over here, over the FTA as well. We absolutely need like some kind of push over here to 402, or this is just going to fall out further. Well, damn. Fuck, man. Really salty about this one. I should have been paying attention on this. Yikes. Damn it, I got into NFTs too soon. I knew I should have waited until after market close. Looks like I'm selling some NFTs today. Oh man, I dropped my headset. Yeah, so losing over here at 399 is going to be very, very bad for this. Not good at all. So it needs to bounce over here at this level if we don't bounce. So we have two situations over here. We need to start riding up the clouds over here. Likely we close below this 402 point. I don't see us closing above it. It's just not possible at this point. So you're looking at two lines. Some people draw squiggly lines and there's not like any kind of real direction. They're just kind of drawing squiggly lines. But when I draw squiggly lines, they're typically because they do something. So like over here, if this falls out, it's just going to go down lower and come on down. Yeah, so both side of my lottos got pretty much destroyed, the calls and puts. So the lottos for today did not work out. Should have definitely taken profit a lot sooner on this one. Yeah, so like here we go, coming out a lot further down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just, since they were lottos anyway, I'm going to go ahead and leave them be. I'm going to probably end up adding a little bit of puts to balance this out. So I'm like 3-1 right now, so I'll probably switch the ratio to 3-2 and grab some puts over here. So yeah, I mean, this is pretty aggressive now. So things should start coming down to about 25 cents. Yeah, put it in. So yeah, there we go. Fuck, man. That was a waste of money. So yeah, this is the bounce point over here. So if we can manage to bounce over here, it'll be okay. But you're seeing that B-Bands hook. You're seeing everything poor that's gonna happening. And we did another double-sided candle as well. So we blew out both sides. So I just expect some more chop in the end of the day. It's pretty much not even worth watching SPY for the rest because you know it's going to be coming down. The biggest focus is the 4 hour over here, seeing how that 4 hour opens up and making sure we stay above this 398 level over here on the 4 hour. If we start breaking down below over here, we have until Friday to make sure we start bouncing out. If we don't bounce out by Friday, then it's pretty much done. Yeah, which ticker did you want me to check? I think you mentioned it earlier on the stream, but if you put it down again. I mean, there's a fine line with crypto if the SEC goes after it. It's very, very obvious, like, who does what and how they do it. So, people like BitBoy and a lot of those typical shillers, yeah. I mean, I could name NFT people, too, like Farrakh and fucking all those Beanie. If those people don't go to jail, then nobody's going to jail. Andrew Kang, Wang, whatever. OpenAI. Oh, look at that. You even told me what number it is. Yeah, let's pull it. Oh, this is the play on AI stuff. I mean, it's at a good point right now. So the biggest thing about this one is that you don't want to lose this level or it'll end up coming a little bit lower over here. And yeah, it's actually not at a bad spot. As long as it consolidates a little bit more over in this range, it'll show interest. And then once it starts peeking its head out over, depending on which side, then I'd play it. Yeah, but it seems like most of the move is pretty much done. Right now, it's just trying to figure out a little bit more consolidation. So that's kind of the main thing that you need is you want to make sure it consolidates at this point or it will come down without a doubt. So just be very careful on this one on how you're doing this because it doesn't look too hot right this very moment. So you need a lot more buyers coming in or you want to make sure there's a little bit better, clear visual accumulation that it's actually going to happen. Yeah, 2 cents is pretty much an ideal point. So yeah, you definitely want to get over 2 cents, and you want to make sure it holds over. I guess that's 15 cents or 0.015. SPY, sir. Magic lines. Sorry, I'm just going through my account, making sure I don't have anything crazy going on. I actually have my other laptop on me right now. Like, I grabbed a few of those calls with you for silver. I told you I wasn't really in many of them, but, like, the past calls are still kind of even right now, so they haven't really moved at all. Yeah, they're only up 8%. Those SLB calls that I grabbed, I mean, they're only up 32%. And I'm actually down on Hog by 17%. So Hog I'm losing on, but the silver plays are fine. I still have full confidence in the silver plays. Bitcoin coming down over here. So pretty ugly rejection at this point. It's going to be very hard for us to recover out on this one. Let me go to the 1 minute. Yeah, this is pretty much done over here. So Bitcoin should come back down fully. I don't see this recovering out over here over at 18. So 18 I would say 18.2 needs to clear back over now, and it needs to clear back over before the daily close. Because if we get to the daily close, most likely what's going to end up happening is that we get rejected at 18 at the daily close. So the daily close is going to be super important for Bitcoin. All right, I'm actually going to go ahead and get off right now. I'm dying of hunger. So I really appreciate everybody hopping on. Feel free to DM me. We can chat up on things. Or if you have any kind of NFT stuff you're looking at, let me know and we can talk about that stuff. So again, I appreciate everybody hopping on, and I will be switching my power hours over to YouTube, and we'll do live trading on